Finding the magnitude of a vector. These problems are essentially finding the length of a vector, right? We've already sort of talked about vectors in general, but we're trying to figure out, hey, how long is a vector? A fancy way of saying that is just magnitude. So for this particular set of problems, we've seen this before, but we've seen them in a different form. I just want to take a step back to remind you that this type of vector notation is very similar to the one that is in the sort of less than or greater than symbol, and it would look like this, right? So 2i minus j is equivalent to the other vector notation that would just be 2 comma negative 1 in these less than or greater than symbols. So regardless of what way you see them, you do the math the same way, right? To calculate the magnitude of, in this case, it would be v minus u. So let's begin. I do want to start off by helping you in that we should work inside out. So in this particular case, we worry about the v minus u part. This is the squaring portion, right? So let's work out this and then we'll apply the squaring. This, I think, keeps things separate and easier for us to sort of work out in our heads. So we would have v minus u, right? Now I'm purposely leaving behind the magnitude symbol, right? Because I want to focus on the inside. That is going to be 2i minus j minus, right? Because that's what v minus u is. And then we would write negative I plus 4j. Now let's just sort of think of I and j being x and y, and it keeps the math very simple, right? So that would be 2i minus j plus I, plus I minus 4j. So all we did was distribute the negative. So in this particular case, we have combined like terms now. So the 2i and the plus I go together, that's 3i. And then the negative j minus 4j, that's negative 5j. Okay, now we have our vector v minus u. And then we have, so the magnitude of that v minus u is equal to 3i minus 5j. And then the actual application of the magnitude part, right, that double bar you see on either side, makes it so that we have 3 squared plus negative 5 squared. Okay, let's pause for a second to make sure we understand this. I just elongated the process of explaining a little bit because I want you to understand that this right here is equivalent to this here, but we sort of separated the notation that we left behind, we brought back, right? So the v minus u part is this. The absolute, I was going to say absolute value, but the magnitude part is this actual squaring and square rooting part, right? And I mentioned this before. Please do not forget to apply the symbol when we're squaring. So 3 was positive, 3 squared, negative 5 was positive. Negative 5 is obviously negative, and then when we applied the squaring, we put it as negative. This is just so that when we're adding, we continue to, look back and pay attention to the symbols in between, right? So provided that I didn't make a mistake, we continue with the math, and we end up with square root 9 plus 25. And it actually worked out pretty nicely if I didn't make a arithmetic error. So that's going to be 25. So that makes it 34 if I'm not mistaken, right? So in this case, if you put radical 34 on a calculator, if it simplifies it to like 2 radical something, just put that, especially if you have a calculator. But if you do not have the ability to rationalize radical 34, don't start inventing math and then just box your answer and then you're done. You found the magnitude of v minus u here. Now take a second to pause the video, try this bottom one, and then go ahead and follow along. and I hope we come to the same conclusion. So this gives us the v plus 3j. I'm going to stay consistent with that, right? If you want to apply the magnitude and do it all together, go for it. You know, it's yours. It's your... I put v plus 3j. Why did I put that? Hold up. Did I put that at the top? No, I put v minus u. I don't know why I put v plus. That's hilarious. Hold on one second. Let me fix this. That should probably be something like v plus 3u, the vector. It's funny. All right, so let's do this. V plus 3u, that is going to be, just drop v down, plus 2j plus 3u. So I want to make sure that I do not forget to distribute to the I plus j over here. Okay, so let's continue. 3i plus 2j plus 3i plus 3j. Now combine like terms, i's with i's, j's with j's. 3 plus 3 is 6i, plus 2 plus 3 is 5j. Now we found our, again, just for the purpose of explaining, our v plus 3u. Now that means that our magnitude of that is going to be, again, let's just go ahead and write that like that instead. You could have put v plus 3u equals and then put this part here, but again, you know, they're all interchangeable at the end of the day. So that is 6 squared plus 5 squared. Okay, well, that squared ended up in the inside like that. So let's do this. 36 plus 25. Okay, and then that ends up being 56, 61, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's 60, radical 61. And I can't simplify that off the top of my head. So I'm going to leave it like that. So I'm going to say, you know what, radical 61 is my answer. And we're done. Let me zoom out so you can see this.